Want to know what a real man would tell their lady about love and life? You're in the right place. This is Hello Ladies with Rom Wills. Rom Wills is a speaker and author of several books on relationships. Grab some wine, sit back, and enjoy.
Hello, ladies. Welcome to my spot. The issue with the laundry list. And ladies, y'all know what the laundry list is. Shoot, y'all got more lists than anything. That laundry list is a list of the things that you want in a man. All right. You know, he gotta be 6'4", you know, certain complexion, certain race, certain hair type. You know, he gotta be strong. You know, he gotta have this amount of money. You know, you got to have that bag and everything. Since so many people going for the bag now. And he got, got to have all these things. And usually what happens is because you have that list, when you encounter a man, you looking at him for the list. So you meet that man. That man approaches you. He's like, hey, and he's real polite, but you look at him. He's like, well, you were looking for somebody 6'4". He was 5'9". You looking for somebody real cut and muscular. You know, he got decent bite, but he got a little bit of pudge here. All right. You looking for somebody who's dressed a certain way. He's dressed very casual. You're looking for somebody who look like he might have education. And this dude, well, his nails are dirty. This dude blue collar. All right. You know, he's basically not on the list. And y'all do it because, well, let's be real, ladies. Y'all make that decision in a few seconds when a guy approach you. And if he ain't what you want on the outer thing, then you don't want to deal with him. And, you know, shoot, that's why I tell men, you know, really work on their physical appearance and, you know, their style and everything. But that being said, you know, a lot of times a woman can lose a good man because she's so busy looking at this. She got this list out. And she's checking it twice, comparing it with girlfriends. They sitting around say, well, he's not this, check. You know, in fact, I remember, and I did a video on this a while ago. And it was a woman's like checklist of like this man she was dealing with. And she was like, oh, yeah, well, you know, his shoes, his eyes are this. He's a 2 here, all of that. Now, here's the issue with the laundry list. Most laundry lists don't take in consideration things like character and compatibility and personality. And even the ones that do so on a very superficial level. And it's not about what he is as a person, but what the woman wants. You know, he is like, you know, he has to be that guy who, you know, is very supportive of her and all of that. But not, you know, it's typically not somebody she can be supportive of, right? Or something. It's all about her. You know, everything supporting her agenda and all of that. That's usually the person that would, if some women do it. But the thing is, enough of the list don't take in consideration character. Because, sometimes here's the problem with the list. And I challenge any woman to tell me they've experienced this otherwise. And I used to challenge women on this all the time. Like they'll say they want that 6'4" guy or a certain muscular, he got to look a certain way. And I would ask a simple question. I said, well, have you ever met that guy? And he'd be like, no. Then I would be like, well, how do you know that guy will make you happy? And then the women would just stop. They couldn't really answer. I was like, seriously. How do you know that person will make you happy? When I say no, like you experienced this. Now, if a woman, like say a woman had a great relationship and the guy was the 6'4", he was handsome, muscular, you know, he made 6 figures, he owned all this property, and you know, she had a relationship with him. It was a good relationship, and the only reason, you know, they broke apart, something happened. But in general, it was a good relationship. And if she wants that same thing, you know, maybe she was imprinted by that type of guy, and it was generally good. Or she might, and because of being imprinted by that guy, she might have dealt with a couple more like the same thing. Okay, I get that one. That's actually a fair list. That's a normal list. because the women's are actually experiencing it. But one thing I found with the overwhelming majority who have a list, they've never actually dealt with the guy they say they want. Now, let me go back to it. Okay, he's 6'4", he handsome, he muscular, he's making 6 figures, owns some property, all of that. And some of y'all might even throw the personality in there, like very supportive of it. Okay, he do that. But then it doesn't take into consideration if he's actually compatible with you. Because you don't know. Now, it might look good on paper and you're looking at all that superficial stuff. But see, that type of guy, you meet him and he might be the type, since he is like tall, handsome, basically for most women, he's at least a masked man, He might not be the type who's going to be generally loyal to you. And you want somebody loyal. You don't want to share. You ain't getting that guy to share. Even if you put it on a list. Or, okay, and that's just a physical piece. Think about the rest. Okay, he making 6 figures. Most men, first of all, it's only a small percentage of men, regardless of race, who's making 6 figures. Only a small percentage. And that number might be 12%, but so the other 88% ain't getting it. All right, so you meet that guy. Most guys who are going to make that much money, the only reason they make it is because they put in a lot of hours. They professionals. They might be doctors or something, always there. They might be attorneys, always on their business. Engineers working long hours. Most men making that much money, they gotta put in the work. Most men, Most men. Now you get a few, they might be able to do something where they don't have to work that hard, but those are few and far between. There's a tiny percentage of them, tiny percentage of them who could just work a couple days a week and still make that much money. And even then, if they want to increase their money, they still got to work more. So if that dude working like that, he can't give you the utmost attention, can he? And in fact, he might not be as romantic because he coming home, if y'all even living together. Hypothetically, let's say y'all decide to live together. It's cool, but then he's coming home whenever. And, that joint might not work as well because he's too damn tired. That happens. I've seen a lot of women complain. They get that guy and they say, oh, he's a workaholic and all of that. I say, well, didn't you want that? What you think? He can't give as much time. He coming home. He tired. Shoot. In fact, he coming home. He might not be as supportive of you because he looking at you like, I'm making the money. How come you didn't put a meal on the table for me? And that's another thing, too. Sometimes the guy on the list could be very demanding. He looking at you like, well, hold up, honey. You got 20 extra pounds on you. You need to hit the gym. Or you need to be fixing me some food. No excuses. Or you need to be doing this or that. See, and that's the problem that's the issue with the list. They don't take in consideration what type of character this guy got and if they're compatible. Because the most important thing in relationships is not the physicality. It's not how much money they make. It comes down to whether or not you're compatible. Now, a lot of women know that on a level, but some others don't. Because a lot of women say, well, they ain't deal with a particular guy who's generally a good guy because they just weren't compatible. That's actually fair. I don't have an argument about that. But a lot of women miss it out. They're so busy looking for the car and all of that. They'll pass over the guy. The guy who might be compatible might not have those things. But that might also be the guy who might have you hollering in the bedroom. Whose, joint fits perfectly. Who wants you, whose whole point is to make love to you. And then supports you totally. And he just gets you, like, even your crazy jokes, he gets you. That's the thing. And that's the issue with the laundry list. A lot of times, so many women are so busy focused on that list, they ain't paying attention to the thing they need to pay attention to. Whether they're compatible. And I say that I've said that a couple times in podcasts on my main channel. Because there's a gentleman, Don Spears, who wrote this book, In Search of Good Pussy, and he talked about it. 2 mentors told him. Reason why relationships fail is incompatibility and unrealistic expectations. And that unrealistic expectation is that they were compatible, that they could make it work. That's the problem. And so it's something to think about. Sometimes when that list, actually, if you're going to do a list, the first thing is we're compatible. Then you work out the rest. You might get surprised. I've known some women surprised. They thought they wanted a certain physical thing, happened to get with somebody else, and it was like perfect for them. So, anyway, ladies, that's all I got for you. I'll get back with you later. Peace and blessings.